capacity, because at the end of the day, you may have all those wonderful, super fantastic machines lined up, but if you don't have the right people behind those machines, you may not get the right results. So in this day and age, I still believe if you buy a machine to work for yourself, you have to work on the machine to make it work for you. So human element will never be taken out completely. The other thing in the future, in any work environment, the key word will remain engagement. If you're not able to engage your employees, build their commitment, get their satisfaction, get their discretionary effort, no matter what technology do you have, no matter what advanced machineries do you have, you're going to lose out big time. So we really need to we need to understand today, accept it, and not go into this debate whether it's a machine world or a man world. It is the man's world. It is going to be human. Whether we debate 10 hours today or 20 hours, you cannot take out the human factor. You cannot take out the engagement. Yes, technology is going to bring a lot of advancement. We are going to leverage that for our future success. We are not going to become slaves of that. I really loved what Kamran said. All this advancement gives us this comfort. Now finally, human spirit is going to ascend. So I really believe in that. And I thank you, Kamran, for putting that out here in so many words. That's what I see still. And I stay very committed to continue to work on human capacity, on the softer side of the business, engagement, commitment, and getting that discretionary effort, which is going to change the world, and which is going to separate men from boys. Yes.
So coming back to
sorry, एक दो चीजें.
Sure. Yes, go ahead.
Machine को भी थोड़ा time चाहिए. Just a couple of thoughts here.
Yeah.
Actually, what we are perceiving right now, that man will build and control machines, is something which is also going to change. Machines will create machines.
Yes.
So one,
machines versus machines.
And they'll create much better and optimized and efficient machines. One. Two, what the last question you had with Adil in terms of government regulations and everything, actually technology enables you to bypass a lot of stuff which is not efficient.
Yep.
One classical example is a lot of Pakistani young students are now college and school dropouts, and they're working online freelance. Just because the pace of teaching here is so slow for them, because their conventional personal lives otherwise through digital technology is so fast, they're able to earn much faster, easier, quicker, and more than others. So why would they go to school? Because we only prepare them to seek jobs through our education right now. We are not preparing them to create jobs. So that's another challenge. So people are bypassing. अभी recent job change देख रहे हैं जो bypass अगले 1-2 साल में आप देखेंगे massively होगा is the cryptocurrency. अभी सबको लग रहा है इधर उधर कुछ हो रहा है Bitcoin, plant. आप देखेंगे in the next few years you don't need state banks. It's a peer-to-peer currency exchange. So you will actually bypass all the inefficiencies in your life using technology. एक तो human spirit change हो जाएगी इस sense में. Humans will not be replaced, but human role will change massively. और जो current हमारा lifestyle will completely be disrupted in that sense. And I think that is what we need to realize, that we will be in the knowledge economy because everything else will be done by the machines in their own ways. We will only have to be at the much behind them and then probably see कि हमने emotional कैसे connect लेना है. So things will be very, very different. We are not perceiving right now. I don't know आप में से कितने लोगों ने virtual reality gaming experience की है? I mean, for the first minute you think कि मैं अभी मुझे समझ आ रही क्या हो रहा है, और उसके बाद जब एकदम कोई चीज़ आती है तो you actually react accordingly and things change and within minutes. अभी तो ये बहुत basic है, so things will be very, very different. The self-driving autonomous cars will be different. You won't need to.
And the pace could be so fast that we may not be able to cope up with that. So coming back to poll question number 1. By 2020, according to World Economic Forum, what's the number 1 job skill that would be needed? Any answers? 4 options. World Economic Forum, by 2020, number 1 job skill that would be needed. Any guessworks? This side. Law?
Will be needed.
But we heard that the jobs of lawyers and accountants are going away, right?
Can we also?
Software developer?
Can we participate? No?
Yes, and I'm coming to you guys as well. Middle?
We are overflowing.
Middle is very quiet.
I'm just saying.
I understand man versus machine is depressing, right? It's machine versus machine, right? Business analyst. Okay, let's take a view from our panelists. Number one job skill needed by 2020, World Economic Forum survey.
Really, me? Okay.
Yeah, any guesswork?
It's I don't know, it's a job skill or what, but it's your attitude.
One word.
It's your attitude. I don't know it's a job skill or what, but it's your attitude.
Attitude. I
Attitude is
take
very
that.
important, yeah.
Critical thinking.
Critical thinking,
I think attitude.
attitude,
Disruption.
disruption,
Talking about skills or jobs?
skill. One skill that is needed, like number one skill by 2020 according to World Economic Forum.
Critical thinking and reasoning.
Critical thinking. Madhur, any guess?
Accept change.
Accept change. Fantastic. We're pretty close.
Sorry, just to add here, Sadia just said कि वो आपने fear की बात की, everything is on the other side of the fear. So the fear of change is actually the death. It is not the change which is the death. It is the fear of change which is the death.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Exactly. So complex problem solving. That's the
Like,
number one skill.
I have a point. When we say, when we talk about the future and performance of businesses, we cannot put human performance excellence on a side and say it's just going to be machine excellence. अगर आप बिल्कुल इसको separate करेंगे ना, चलिए एक softer side पे, let me just leave this thought. I always wonder, I think of these pyramids in Cairo, and I wonder how were those created. To date, I have not been able to crack the code, and nobody knows. Maybe a wild thought is that the civilization reached that level where you're talking about machine making machines and machine making machines, and human element was all out. And today we are not even to explain what that was, and it was a disaster in the end, you know. So everything started from zero. So not to be pessimistic. I think it's balance between what machine brings is optimum, so to say, and what human brings is optimism. And this will continue to play a role together, right?
See, I would like to add here.
Yes, please.
So it's about creating a right balance. Think about a propeller aircraft when that, so pilot used to maneuver everything. And then we had jet aircrafts. It was all automated, but the farmer was not driving it, right? So it was the pilot still there with that required training. So it's like positioning the right person there with the technology at the forefront. So that's the differentiation that we need to...
That we need to understand, encourage, support, motivate. Yes, please.
No, but so I think what we are suggesting here is that, look, machines will start to do a lot more of the work. And what is going to happen and what will need to happen is that people will start needing to focusing on things that, be one step ahead, in essence. If you want to be able to, still create values, still have value, you need to be one step ahead and keep on looking at, what the next step is. Now, I think we are agreeing that right now emotional intelligence is not there. So a lot more of the focus of HR and the focus of people will be skilling in those areas. It will be in problem solving. We'll still have a lot of need for caregiving, for example. We'll still have a lot of need for creative thinking, for example. But even that will change, and we need to keep on staying ahead of that curve. If we look at the simple example of HR recruiting as an example, right? There is already the ability through chatbots, through technology to be able to screen contacts, to be able to source contacts, to be able to schedule meetings, etc. What does that mean? It means that HR now has the time to free up and do a lot more value-added work on top of that, which is find better quality people, which is to be able to sell them more, more time to sell, which means a lot of them will now need to start being sales-like in their approach, etc. So with the advent of time, we have to continuously keep on thinking what are the new skills that will be needed. And to be honest, we don't even know yet what are all the new jobs that will be created as and when, all this technology kind of comes in.
Hafsa, the future work, everybody says future work is coming. I think future work is already here. Are you guys ready for that?
Yes.
How?
Having said that, I think future work is here, right? It's present work and future work with what will come is, and I think to sum it all up from what I'm hearing is that humans are here to stay. The ways of working, work will be here and humans will be here, right? So that's I think the ways of working and approaching work is what is changing currently. If we said will change, I think it's already changed. And we're already at different pace of different industries who have adopted adopted technology in their benefit. So the ways we are working and the skills that are required for tomorrow. I think those are the two things that HR really needs to be aware of, and I think we are, as I said, we are at different stages. So what skills do we want to have for our future, and the ways of working in the sense that, yes, technology is here, and as I said, I think the HR departments or functions or even industries and businesses, the ones who are agile in terms of learning capability are the ones who will succeed. That is it. So if we feel that yes, wo aayega, tab hoga, tab dekhenge, so that will be too far. It's right now as we sit over here today, it is too late, to be very honest. We are absolutely nowhere near, if we ask where we should be at this point in time. So, but as the first step is awareness, so we need to know that yes, we're not there. We need to change our ways of working. We need to upskill ourselves first before we go and upskill others. So are we upskilled? Are we even thinking of solutions which are digital in nature? Maybe or maybe not.
Great.
I think
before that, I just want to know one thing. Yeah, just before that, one thing. Who is winning the debate right now? This side, artificial intelligence? Your clap will tell us. Emotional intelligence? Then I have to do something. First I have to give a chance to Badar, and then I'll come to Sadia, right? Because he's in a weaker spot. Please.
So that is the problem. People are fearing that change.
By the way, when you clap that means I am winning, because I was EI and Sophia was AI.
And so that's actually the challenge.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a few couple of examples. One international. So it's not that people or kids have stopped playing with toys, but Toys R Us is out of business. So we need to rework and see why Toys R Us is out of business, even though kids are still playing with toys. Similarly, our local brands in Pakistan, the retail, the grocery top ones like the Al-Fatahs of Lahore and the Aghas of Karachi never improved themselves. So hence came Metro and Carrefours. They changed the landscape, and now Daraz and the e-commerce space is going to further eat up their space. So things are happening in front of us, and we are not realizing how change is eating us up. And that fear is critically important for business. So just last point out of this is, we don't need to do the same process through technology. We need to improve or change or remove or append a new process as well, which we are not trying to do. Because we think the old way of doing the same thing is the right thing, which is not the right way.
Quick one, and then
he's just said it all. I wanted to say what you said in the end. It's about change management. It's only about very structured, involving the critical thinking. How will you go through those stages of change? Because change is inevitable. It is there. We are moving in that direction, whether we like it or not. The bus has left the station. It's about change management.
Just in addition,
we don't want conversion, we want divergence.
Asim just wanted to add what she was saying, that future skills के बारे में जो पहले बात कर रहे थे, the previous point. So you need to develop the capacity first, उसके बाद सब कुछ हो जाएगा. Right, so it's very important to develop a capacity in individual for the futures. दूसरा मैं ज़रा उस तरफ आता हूँ जाके आप लोगों की तरफ. So it's good to implement technology and the digitalization, but ज़बरदस्ती ना ढूंढ के चीज़ों में ना डालें आप. जहाँ रिक्वायरमेंट है वहाँ पर डालें. ठीक है, अननेसेसरी अब गुजरते हुए रास्ते में आपने ठुड्डा खा लिया, वहाँ पर भी टेक्नोलॉजी डाल दें, तो डोंट डू दैट. ओके, स्टेजेस एग्जैक्टली. सो टू प्रायोरिटाइज योरसेल्फ, हर जगह ना लाना जाए. बाथरूम जाने में भी डिजिटलाइजेशन अगर कर देंगे तो दैट्स नॉट ऑन एक्चुअली.
It has to be a journey.
उसकी एक वजह है कि सारे CEO समझते हैं उनका हेड ऑफ IT है ना, वो हर मर्ज की दवा है. मसला ये कि वो हड्डियों का डॉक्टर और ये आंखों का प्रॉब्लम है. So they are going to the wrong doctor, and that's why they'll get all these technologies which are actually redundant or not needed.
It's not them, it's your selection of the doctor.
Yeah, it's us.
So we're saying that it's a journey, and we need to have a very clear roadmap.
नहीं, वो journey नहीं है. That's leapfrogging. Technology will not wait
agree,
for that
agree,
journey.
It's an excuse.
It's
leapfrogging.
Agree, it's leapfrogging. But what I'm
confusing.
saying is we need to keep
Time's
pace.
up.
But like he said, it can't be, every nook and corner that you hit into, there is technology over
So
there.
technology works in iterations, and you don't know which iteration would work. So technology is all about trying and figuring out what is the right mix for you. So Atif can probably talk more about it, but that's what
Atif,
Google,
we need your support. Who is winning right now? AI
Definitely HR.
or EI?
बराबर हो रहा है.
Last quick one. So, because we are, short on time, this is a very interesting debate. We can carry on. We used to have 3 boxes of life: study, work, retire. What are the 3 future boxes of life? Badr, we used to study, we used to work, we used to retire. 3 boxes of life. What could be the possible 3 boxes of life in future? Badr.
One single box, digital nomad. You work anywhere, everywhere, in jeans. Suiting does not bring professionalism for sure. So things will be just digital nomad.
No box. Atif. 3 boxes of life: study, work, retire.
So personally, I feel study will continue for most of your life. I think you will work. I do feel people will start thinking of retiring early. I think the millennials are starting to think about, work-life balance a lot more.
Completely different dimension, all 3 would change. This would be a transformation of ourselves. We would be fused into an entirely different transformation, and agility is my answer.
3 boxes of life, future.
3 boxes of life?
Machine की ज़रूरत है.
Machine is winning. Machine is winning.
I still think more human interaction.
Human interaction.
Yes, yeah. See, what we miss today is when we go back home and we have 4 people sitting in a lounge and everybody's on the phone.
Yeah.
And the TV is running, or everyone's just talking to somebody else except the person in the room. I still think that what we'll miss in the future will be this human interaction. What we need to work towards is to build it and sustain it.
Great.
The 3 boxes will stay. The study box will stretch all the way to retirement because it's lifelong study.
It will become lifelong learning. Great point. Adil. 3
Retire,
boxes of life in
Ayashi.
future.
Retire, Ayashi.
Ayashi?
Retire.
Doesn't want to
Close.
come. Only retire.
Great. So,
आसम सर एक चीज़ ऐड करूँगा, वो रिटायरमेंट बिल्कुल सही है. जो स्टडी है वो अब जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. You will have implants.
Yes.
You don't need to go through the same process again. We are still thinking in the same way. But I certainly agree to Sadia's point of ethics, values.
Yeah.
I think वो emotional जो intelligence है वो ज़रूरी है. और बट उसकी यूज़ चेंज हो रहेगा, और वो सैनिटाइज हम नहीं करना है. सो एग्रीड ऑन द लाइफस्टाइल फॉर्मेट कि हमने अपने आप को सैनिटाइज करना है और हमने अपने आप को सही करना है. बट स्टडी विल बी टोटली डिफरेंट. वो तो इम्प्लांट्स हैं.
great. So, final decision. Artificial intelligence. Your claps will tell us.
No, we have to clap first.
Emotional intelligence. Great. So I have my apologies for my tech friends. I lost my opportunities to do anything with them in future. That's very sad. And I'll update my CV and share with the emotional intelligence people, right? I hope it will be considered. So I will leave you with just 2 thoughts here. One, I think future is about personal reinvention. Every day. Alvin Toffler used to say the illiterates of 21st century are not those who don't know how to read and write. They will be those people who don't know how to learn, unlearn and relearn. And number 2, do you guys agree the future is about man versus machine, or machine versus machine, humans versus machine, etc.? Or it's about man and machine, or humans and machine? Do we have an agreement?
Man and
is it
machine.
man and machine?
Yeah, it's man-machine.
Humans and machines? Humans and machines?
Yes.
Let us
yes,
know
yes.
with your claps whether you agree. Humans and machines?
Asim, there's a term that's coming up. It's called cobots. So man and machine will have to coexist, and it's being called cobots.
He immediately caught the
Yeah,
idea and he
cobots.
said, my survival is to change and create something called obots. That's
Cobots.
sharp. Cobots. Great. So a big round of applause for our panelists on the right side and left side. Your loud applause will tell us how this was. Great. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks for
you.
joining us. Over to Adil Hashmi.
If I can request Mr. Hassan Azhar, Group CEO HRSG, to present the mementos to our panelists. Thank you. And before we move on to the music bit, if I can request Zabina and Iman to thank you and the sponsors and the partners. It has been a fantastic gathering of speakers. So over to Zabina and Iman.
So there are